on today's episode.
Hey guys, thanks for clicking on today's video. It's gonna be a little different. We're doing a top 10 of things I like to see EW add to Call of the Wild. Little hint, there's not a single map or animal in this video, and I kind of dog on the Great One a little bit. So enjoy it. If you do, let me know in the comments down below, give it a like, and yeah, life is short, get out there and live it. Alright, so again, in no particular order, the top 10 things I think that they need to add to Call of the Wild. Number one, just in general, more randomization, uh, more animal movement. And what I mean by that is, for instance, you can, from here, I know I can fast travel to this lodge. And I know once I get to this lodge, as long as I have the time set for whitetail drink time, which we know because of the need zones, that I can just run right under this fence post, look across, and I have a herd of deer. They're in the same location every single time. And I don't exactly mean that they need to make it where the deer don't show up to this lake ever. Um, like they come here once and then not again. But maybe the need zone isn't just here. It is maybe like the whole lake or part of the lake. Or for instance with the river here, instead of having a need zone where we have whitetail at spawn in the same exact spot every single time, maybe they take up a portion of the river. Just something that's a little bit different so that you can't just fast travel to a lodge, walk down a hill, look across the lake, and in the same spot, they're always there. And then kind of along with randomization, I'd like to see different racks, more customizations as far as bird types and patterns and racks. So let's kind of get an example of that. Let's see if I can find a good example of what I mean for well, that's a new one. All right. Anyways, for racks, is a moose hanging out? Hold on. Nope. What I mean by racks is having it so that they all look a little different, right? So, maybe this one has a little sticker that sticks off one of the sides, and then this one doesn't, or this one's a little bit wider. The true rack ones, they do have a little more variance to them, which is nice. I'd like to see a little bit more variance on the racks. And then with the animal skins, all of the albinos and dilutes look pretty much exactly the same. Kind of get that with the albinos, even the dilutes, but eyeballs could have some more patterns. Even like a regular whitetail, has the same auto the whole time. Maybe this one's got more white to the belly or less to the belly than this one, But right now, all these deer kind of look the same. This is funny. Oh, here's a good example, I think. So like these leucistic reindeer, caribou, right? They're leucistic. And if you look like the spotting pattern here, right? On this guy, and look at on this guy. Like it's the same exact leucistic model. It could be a little different. It doesn't need to be like drastically different, but something that's a little different, I think, would be nice. So number 2 on my list is going to be loadouts. It would be a huge quality of life for loadouts. I don't know if you're like me, but depending on the map that you're on, you want to use different stuff, especially with collars. That makes sense, right? There's not every animal on every map. However, it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to get rid of all these, scroll all the way down. Oh, that's broken. Get rid of all of these. Ugh. Alright, we don't need big deer grunt stuff. Alright, don't need that. And then, then come back up and like, oh, I need this one. it would just be easier if we could say we have 6 loadouts and we could just label them, you know, Mexico map, Silver Ridge Peaks, Yukon. And you could click on that and it would auto-populate what you've set for that loadout. And then you could come in later and you could just pick different things if you want to change it up a little bit. I think that loadouts would be a huge quality of life change that would be nice to see. What are you doing? Okay, so number 3 brings us back to the lodge for a quick second, because I want to talk about the Great One. And I have one here. So I think that it's time for a new Great One. We've had this one for over a year now, and I mean, lots of people have gotten him by now, and while he's still cool and he's still out there and he's still rare, I think that it's time that we have another animal that we can chase after. Me personally, I mean, I kind of want a mule deer just because I'm obsessed with mule deer. However, if we wanted to make things, you know, really different, we could change it up, and maybe instead of a mule deer, it's, you know, a pronghorn, or it's a bear. You know, and it doesn't have to be just like a crazy rack even. It could be, you know, a bear that has gotten into a fight and is all like scratched up and damaged. Maybe he's missing a toe, you know, just something different. It'd be nice to see another animal that's in the game that is super rare to go get. Number 4 is along the same lines of the Great One. So my understanding when the Great One came out is it was supposed to be this super duper rare animal that was really, really hard to find. And to be honest, I kind of think the Great One's not that great anymore. It's more like the One instead of the Great One. What I mean by that is we've seen now that it's actually quite easy just to grind for them. You put in some time and you get a Great One. And there's people out there that have many multiples of the Great Ones just by putting in the time and grinding for it. You know, it's almost at the point where, honestly, if you have a diamond whitetail that is albino, that is more rare than a Great One, in my opinion, at this point. You know, it's kind of like with Classic. If you play the Hunter Classic, is there are albino mule deer out there that have non-typical racks. However, I may never actually run into one. I may not actually ever see one. And that just makes it, if you do find one, that much more exciting and rare and important. And you actually do get that. And I think that Call of the Wild is kind of missing that. I thought the Great One was going to fill that gap, but I think it's been kind of diluted, in my opinion. Number 5, crossplay. I think that it's time that we embrace crossplay. About half the members of my community play on Xbox or PlayStation. And I think that in today's day and age, it's just kind of expected that games have crossplay now. I think that it would help bring the community together to be able to play with folks that are on Xbox and on PC. Bring them together. But kind of along those lines, my next top 10 is going to be number 6, obviously, which is going to be somewhat controversial because this one's been talked about a lot in the community with the new release of this Mexico map, and that is a joint release, a release that goes to both console and PC at the same time. I know that there's folks that are on PC who say if it's done for PC, just give it to me, and I just think it's the wrong way to look at it. I'm trying to make a movie here. I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I think if we are a community, and you know, EW always says that we're a great community and we love our community and we try for joint releases. I've heard that same thing for over a year now, that they're trying for joint releases, when in actuality, like with Silver Ridge Peaks, console got pushed out a couple of months, and it kind of looks like it's going to happen again to them with this release. And that's just not very fair. It's not fair in the sense of I can play on Mexico map and everybody that's on console can't. Because that is part of it. But another part of it is you have folks who do try to create content for Call of the Wild on Xbox. And all the PC players get to use the hype of having this new map to create new content. And it's kind of hard to create with the Mexican Bobcat and Mexico map for console players because they don't have that hype to make their videos off of. And it's not like it's just by a week. We're now talking months. It might push and delay the how quickly we get content for new maps, but I think that it's totally worth it. It gives everybody in the community on the same exact page, the same exact content, the same updates, the same animals. I don't get why I'm playing on Hunter Call of the Wilds, version 2.1, where everybody on console gets version 1.1. It just doesn't seem fair. Alright, so next on my list is going to be something that just be kind of fun, and that is drops or like weapon skins. So in a lot of games nowadays, you'll see that there are weapon skins and different drops that you can get just from watching your favorite streamers. Let's see if we can tag this guy a little better. There we go. You know, you hop onto Twitch and you go watch Jaxie for a couple of hours, and that's it. I think that'd be really cool to allow there to be drops in the game, maybe with just every major new update. So, for the Mexico map, maybe if you watch Jaxie for a couple of hours over the course of a period of time, not bad, 213. You would get, I don't know, maybe a weapon skin that had like pinatas on it, or something kind of silly like that. Well, that worked. I knew he could make them, but I didn't think he was going to make diamond though. Sweet. I heard somebody even say that, we could do like a party hat for a moose collar for Jaxie. But I think it adds some customization and personalization to the game. If I could have, I don't know, a different colored shotgun, a different skin, a different character model, things like that. It also gives an opportunity to get something that we can actually use our money on. Right now I'm at 111,000, and the reason why I'm at that low of an amount is because I just bought like 20 tents. After you play the game for long enough, money doesn't really become an obstacle, and I think that it would give us something that we could actually spend our money on. Attack him a little better too. There we go. Okay, so number 8 on my list is going to be something that I think would help with kind of that randomization that I mentioned at the start of this. And that is to allow us to use like a spotting scope to see animals that are rendered out further than the render distance is currently set for. So real quick, this would be a good example of a spot where you could have the spotting scope. You could just sit here on this hilltop and you could browse around in between all these bushes and cacti, and scan the horizon for animals. And maybe you do see some peccary out on this hilltop. You can't shoot at them, but they're out there. You're like, oh man, they're probably feeding out there, and you can go and plan your stock. Or you look across this lake here, it's just outside render, Maybe you could see an animal traveling the shoreline of this lake, and then being able to, you would plan to meet up over on this side. I think it would just help that we're not just so focused on a particular need zone, and we could find a nice spot like this and kind of enjoy the scenery while browsing and scoping around, glassing for animals. Okay, number 9 is going to take us back to the Trophy Lodge. Let's head over. All right, so number 9, Trophy Lodge customization. I think that we should be able to, edit our Trophy Lodges a little bit more than these particularly placed placards that are given to us. Maybe I want this whole wall to be all mule deer or whitetail. However, because whitetail have to be on these really large ones or medium-sized placards, I can only put them there. I can't put mule deer on these ones. I don't see why not. Why can't I just have a wall full of these medium ones and allow me to put the deer there? Not everybody likes to hunt small animals. They don't want to have a trophy lodge that has ducks and rabbits and stuff like that. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see more multi-mounts. Multi-mounts are cool. EW, multi-mounts are cool. I'd like to see more full body mounts. Maybe get rid of this pool table or something. But maybe in this hallway here, right? I'm able to put 3 deer standing like butt to head. 1, 2, and 3. And they're all kind of looking out towards this way. And you can see all 3 full body mounted trophies. And the reason why that's important is because for animals that have, piebald variants or like that guy, piebald, you really don't want to put a piebald up. At least I don't want to. Like this, like that's a piebald muley. It's kind of hard to tell it's piebald. But if we were to actually take it down and put it in a full body mount and be able to see all the colorations, it's way cooler. And I think that being able to do that with my Trophy Lodge would be awesome. Yeah, the Trophy Lodge customization I think would be super cool. On to the last one. And I guess for this one we can just kind of stay in the Trophy Lodge. The last thing I want to see is competition inside of Call of the Wild. Right now we have competitions in multiplayer. It's like, be the first to get a heart shot, be the first to do this, be the first to do that. But I'm talking classic style competitions where it's, hey, this weekend's mission is to harvest the big mule deer that you can, biggest mule deer that you can, with a bow. And it runs for 2 days, and everybody in the community gets to go try it. And then there's a reward for it, and the reward could be a skin. I think that competition is a huge driving force in Classic, and it's really fun to do, and I think that Call of the Wild is missing that. So, yep. Well, that's my top 10. Let me know what you guys think. What did you agree with? What don't you agree with? What do you think needs to be in the game? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And yep, so thanks for watching, guys. Like that whole, I don't know, what do people say? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, something like that. I don't know. Life is short, y'all. Get out there, live it. Thanks for watching.